Blackburn. I have been at Samsung for almost 4 years now. I am currently in the role of Content and Communications Manager. We started using Highspot about a year ago, and it was primarily just myself working on the platform. Before that, we were using a different platform, but I have about 10 years of history in sales enablement through different 3PL companies. So a lot of different software as well as electronics companies. We had previously been using an internal system called Sales Hub for all of our content and delivery needs. It was a very static system. It really only allowed our sales teams to pull content down, and then they would have to send it out to, their customers themselves, and they kind of had to manage which was the latest version, what is it actually addressing the needs that they have. And it also is a very labor-intensive site. We had to have an agency maintain it. Every time we wanted to launch anything new on it, we had to have, them write backend code and do all of these things that really slowed us down. We're a very launch-driven company at Samsung. We have a lot of different launches we do basically every month, and we were never able to get our content out quickly to our customers, who are our sales teams, so that they could get it out to their customers. We'd be delayed by a day or two. And even at that, they weren't getting a great experience once we even were getting the content up on that homegrown site. So we started using Highspot about a year ago, and it really enabled us to be able to get content out quickly. We can manage the site ourselves. We can ensure that our sales teams have all the most up-to-date content so that they're confident when they're pitching out to their customers, and they don't have to go through, it takes a long time to download content, store it somewhere on your computer, and then go into an email, attach it, make sure the attachment isn't too large for your customer, and then be able to send it out to them. So we save them so much time, just even in that really competitive launch process when we're trying to get, content's only good for as long as people are interested. So it, being able to turn quickly has been huge for us, and it's been a big difference between what we were using previously. On our old platform, we had metrics. I'm going to air quote that because, we were able to see when people came on and did things. We couldn't see who it was or really what they did. It just kind of told us, hey, there were 85 downloads. We would only see people come on the day that we announced something, and then they would never be on the platform again until we launched another product. So it was very much just they downloaded it the exact way that we uploaded it that first time, which is sometimes not always right. In electronics, things change. So us being able to have the content be more of a living organism in Highspot has allowed us to really up our engagement numbers. So we went from seeing people only getting on our platform on that launch day to people are now getting into the platform every day. So of course we see a peak whenever we launch something new, but they're constantly coming back, looking for updated content, adding things to their customers that their customers hadn't previously had access to. And really, so we've seen just, within our department alone, the fact that, we had about 45% of our sales team who would access our old system. And that was really just, kind of once, and then they were done. And now we have nearly 76% of our entire sales teams who access not only on launch day, but then it does taper down. But we have on average, about 45% of our total sales teams that access the site at least every other day. So that's really great for us because we're able to make sure that they have the most up-to-date content. So that's a big win for us from our content perspective. So some best practices that we've seen for managing content to ensure that it's up to date is, we try not to add a new version of anything if we don't have to. So we'll always update versions that are currently out there. Even if it has a slightly different intention, we will still update that version. And so, we have the reoccurring, auto update turned on Highspot. So that way, even if that old piece of content has been pitched out to a customer, they haven't opened it yet. When they open it, they'll get that newest version. So by us not constantly making new pieces of content in the system, it may look like we have fewer things, but we're able to update outdated things so that our customers are only seeing what we want them to see, as far as, not showing them things that aren't relevant anymore. So that's a big one for us. That was huge when, the auto update just kind of happened. That was fantastic. Another way that we kind of manage that content to make sure that they only have, the newest and the best is we do really pay a lot of attention to the governance of the site. And we, a lot of products in electronics go end of life. So, as we launch new products, we have older products that some of them may be sticking around, some of them may not. So we spend a lot of time ensuring that we are archiving our older content and not deleting it, so that way we can access it later if we need to. But archiving has been huge for us, especially since we can put the reason why we archive something. And then we have end of life dates for all of our products, so we can pull reports on, when products went end of life, when the content stopped being utilized, so that way we can take it out of our reporting. So that's helped us a lot. We have recently integrated Salesforce into our instance, and so we are looking at closed opportunities that use certain pieces of our content and looking at not only our view rates, our download rates, but also the pitch, open rates, and won rates of all of our content. So when we finish out a project, when we're basically ready to launch a new one, we go back through and we look at the last launch. We, check all of those rates, because sometimes, it may look like, they may have a lot of views, but if they are viewing it and then not sending it to a customer, we have to kind of evaluate, are we actually, should we make this piece of content again? So we've been able to change quite a few things on our end based on not only the view rates internally, but also the pitch rates externally, and then also the opportunities won versus, opportunities that are also just kind of still out there. B2B is a really long sales cycle, so we can't always make a call on, they sent it out with an opportunity, that opportunity hasn't closed yet, obviously it failed. So we've been working really closely with our Salesforce team to get more in-depth reporting just around what's the actual sales cycle, what's the opportunity cycle, and then we've been merging that data in with the content data that we have. So we've been making a lot of calls on, should we keep this piece of data, content around, should we not? We just recently decided to sunset we have a single page battle card that we think used to be super important to our sales teams, so we just keep making it. But as we've been looking at the data, no one's really using it. They've been using a longer form 3-page battle card that we initially just launched this year, and that's the one that they've been sending to customers. It's the one that they've been closing sales with. So we're sunsetting our single page, and we are putting more focus on our 3-page. So it allows us to be able to make those decisions based off of data rather than just one person saying, I use that all the time, and they're the only person who uses it all the time. We'd love to be able to make it just for them, but, you have to make certain business decisions based on actual usage. So it's been great that way. So we have, quite a robust go-to-market process throughout the entire year. We, launched quite a few different products for different segments in our business. We focus on mobile products, which are more than just handheld phones. It's also PCs. It's mobile enhancement products like watches and buds. So we have a lot of different products that are constantly launching throughout the year. We just launched this past spring our Fold 6 and Flip 6 line for our foldables, and then we also launched a brand new watch and brand new buds. What we did slightly differently with this launch is we launched our first sales play around them as more like a solution selling product-based. So what we've always done in the past is we have separate spots for each one of our products. And so, when we have a couple different products launching at one time, we would put their content on our main homepage, and people would kind of have to click through to the different areas to be able to get all their data down. But now, that we're trying to focus more on solutions, and, we feel like all of our devices work so well together as part of like the Galaxy experience for Samsung. And so by putting all of them into one sales play, we were able to really direct people to really see that for themselves. We've initiated starting to do sales plays in all of our go-to-market strategies. So every time we have a launch, we're planning on putting, together a new sales play that will focus on the particular devices that are coming out during that go-to-market. We utilize them quite a bit. We have an events team that's part of, the training and enablement. They go out and they, go to a lot of different events that are very similar to the Spark event. And, we would have like you have your partner booth down there. We, utilize a lot of different booths like that. But what we've really found is super helpful is we will put together a digital room page for that event. So they'll have a QR code up at their booth. They could scan it. They can go to our digital room where we'll have all of the content behind the devices that they're focusing on that day. So whether it's a federal event where they're talking about government, items, and we need to talk about our tactical edition devices, we'll have all of our, battle cards, our data sheets, all of our actual actions, along with the sales teams they should be talking to after the event, all of that listed on that digital room page so that, as people are talking to our sales associates at that event, they can just scan the QR code and they have everything that they need to be able to make that next sales step. Like if we don't happen to get a chance to get their contact information. So we can set up that room to collect their email address and then, let us know, hey, they want us to contact them. And then they'll have everything that they need from that event to be able to, make that next educated step towards purchase. So they've been super helpful for our events. And then we also do different digital rooms for our carrier teams. So for our three main carriers, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon, they created digital rooms that are viewed externally by their customers where they put up, all of the latest content, data sheets, sales decks, anything that they need for their sales motions. Because in B2B, we have a lot of different distributors and carriers are very, they're a really important customer to us that way. And that way they can access everything that they need in one single place. And our carrier teams are able to update that all the time, put in whatever initiatives they happen to have for that week, and then their teams can go back and look at those digital rooms later and, make sure that they're always getting the most up-to-date content. So we've loved them. I'm excited about, the actual customizable features that we aren't using in digital rooms right now, really so that, people can use them more for just their general pitches and not necessarily for big events like we've been using them for. But we love them, and it's a huge part of what we do every day is kind of putting those, digital rooms together for people. The value for us in Highspot, we really thought it was one place when we signed up, right? Which is really just, our current enablement site is so cumbersome. This will really help us. We were really kind of our team focused, right? It was just a team of myself and my boss, and that was it. So we were just trying to figure out how we could, do what we still needed to do for our customers, the sales teams, and still be able to go on with the rest of our day. And so we really thought that the biggest value in Highspot was going to be to us. But as we have built out the system and as we've, learned more, our team with Highspot have been just so instrumental in telling us, oh, what about these things? Have you thought about using this? And then when we've been releasing different things out to our team, they've been coming up with new and exciting ways to use things, like the way we've been using the digital rooms. It's saved us in so many different scenarios where, we would have lost out on opportunities if we wouldn't have been able to provide out content to a customer when they needed it and wrapped in a package that made it easy for them to use, right? Not just an email with 45 attachments on it that, is probably going to get blocked by security. So, we've seen the value. Just the more we learn about the platform, the more the value just increases for us. And, every time that something new gets released, it's just another additional value add, or even if it's just we didn't think about using something in that way, we're learning more and more ways to use what we already have, for more than just, this will be a great place for us to put content. And, just the actual pitching, it's something that we're like, oh yeah, it's great, it can do it, but we weren't excited about our customers being able to pitch content out directly from the platform. But even that has, increased the value for us, tenfold, being able to see what people are opening, not only just for us, from being able to say, hey, is our content actually being used and is it actually impactful? But for our sales teams to be able to go, oh, great, they opened this up, so I know they're at least interested, and I know they spent 5 minutes on page 5, so I know what to really direct our next conversation with, and being able to give them those tools for things that we didn't even really think were going to be super impactful has been, so great for us. And it's just every day it's something new that we're feeling or adding in that's really added more value. Highspot is opportunity. Because it has allowed us to do things that we didn't think that we could do with one platform. It's really that opportunity to be able to have all of that data right at our fingertips has been what's been super, super impactful for us. So that's what I'd say.